Thank you and welcome back to Photo Finish Garage. Today we're actually going to be working on this 2016 Kia Sedona. What we're going to be fixing is the ABS ABS speed sensors, or the wheel sensors. I'm going to show you the code and how we're going to rectify that. So I'm going to use my new scan tool I got, XTool. I'll leave a link in the description for that, but I just want to show you what the code is so you guys know what to look for. Right, let's see here. Cut that on, cut my scan tool on. I'll give it a minute to boot up. Sorry for the dust here, been doing some drywall work at the house. So I'll come back when this thing boots. Actually, you know what, this would be a real-time imagery showing how this thing boots up. This model is the D8W. I think I paid about, it was $600 and maybe $679, and there was a $120 off coupon on Amazon. All right, so we're gonna go ahead, wait for this thing to boot up. And what we're dealing with as well, we do have a traction control light and ABS light on. I've already scanned the vehicle, so this is how I know what my issues are. My codes are actually for the left and the right rear wheel speed sensors. So that initial startup is pretty slow, but it's okay. Do your auto scan. Let's do the, well, you know what, we'll go ahead and do automatic scan. This one also, I bought this one because it had the topology, so you can see each system here, and we should get our error message. Let's see what other codes my customer has that I might be able to resolve. And as you can see, there's a little legend there that tells you about the colors, what they indicate: normal, malfunction, response, multi-system, X, Y, and Z. Now let me see if I can pause this to get into the system that, see if we can just go ahead and jump in there. So there's airbag codes, which is interesting. Occupant detection system code, which is not what we need. Ignition voltage. Let's see, I need to get into the, let's let it keep going here. So I'm going to pause this and see what else we get. Alright, so it just got done scanning here. Looks like we got a few areas here. DTC. Turn signal, right hand rear short to ground. Yeah, I think because she has some body damage on the vehicle, so maybe she busted one of those. TPMS, she does have a flashing TPMS light here, but look at that, the TPMS code is for a vehicle speed sensor. Now it also doesn't say which one, so we'll double check. And then the stability control also has, let's see if we can zoom in. There we go. Speed sensor, wheel speed sensor, rear left, right. So we're gonna rectify that with our new parts today. All right, so like I said, we're gonna be doing the ABS wheel speed sensors. So we'll actually have to take off the caliper bracket, brake pads, rotor, etc., so we can access all this. The parts I'm going to be using I found on Rock Auto. This is the part number for the ABS wheel speed sensors. We'll have to remove the hub, so I will show you all that. Let's go. So you will need a 14mm socket to get your brake caliper screws off. I would recommend go ahead and replace your brake pads while you're here. In this case, my rotors are fine, but these pads are extremely low, so I had the customer go ahead and get a set of pads so I can put them on there, since I'll be disassembling all of this. All right, so in order to get to this caliper bracket, we actually got to take this upper arm off. This is going to be a 19 on both sides, and you can see our caliper bracket bolt is hidden right behind that, so you will have to lift that up so you can access that bolt. Now we can access that, and that's going to be, I believe these are 15s. It's going to be 15. I apologize, they are both 14s, 14 millimeters. Next, we want to move on to taking our rotor off. So mine was, I already loosened it. If you're interested in this ratchet, I'll also post the link of where I got that from on Amazon. That was about $90 something, and this is the extended one. But this company also offers a normal size. So because we're only changing the brake pads, I didn't want to damage the rotor. We're trying to get it off, so I just used a rubber mallet and I hit it in the front here, and it actually twisted it off and loosened it up here. So alrighty, so there's our parking brake shoes. Those actually are in pretty good shape. What about the inside here? Alright, so that's good. No odd noises coming from our hub. So our sensor is actually right here. Hope I'm recording that. Let's see, hold on. Yeah, that's our plug, and this is our sensor. So we got to remove the hub out of here with these 4 screws. 1, 2. And to get our hub off, it's going to be a series of those 4, and those are 4 14s. And then our clip, we're just going to pull out and then pull up to get that off. Alright, so this all is going to come off. Looks like it's one assembly here. Let me see, make sure all my bolts are out. So I am clear. 1, 2, 3. Got one more I need to make sure it's all the way out. Give me 1 second. And then I just need to get my hub out of this bracket here. May not be, maybe I don't. maybe I can just pry up on it, but I think it's easier if you can separate it from the parking brake shoes here. So the way I got my hub out is it was already loose. I just rocked it and it came right on out. All right, so now we just gotta remove this sensor off of here, which should be able to get a flathead or something in there. So let's do it. So if you guys can see, I'm just working my way around this sensor with a little screwdriver around this hub, and it's slowly separating, if you can see that. So just keep working that until it comes off. There's that. There it is. There it is. And the reason why I went with this other brand here was I figured, well, this is a 2016 with, you know, 130,000 miles on it, and the original part Kia failed. I was gonna go with another brand called Standard, but Rock Auto was out. They were out of stock. So this is my next best option that I felt like I trusted here. The Beck Ornley part didn't seem to have really good reviews either. So, you know, I guess you're going aftermarket, you're taking a chance anyway. But I can see that ring is metal. That ring's metal. So we'll see how the fitment is. Let me go get some grease here and we'll slip it in there. So when you go to reinstall it, you do want to pay attention to that orientation of how this was oriented in relation to that plug. So if you remember, this sensor was like this. Yeah, so this sensor was down with the plug facing up. So this connector was able to snap in. But if you also look at the orientation of your the holes for your hub that the hub bolts into, that's how you can also pay attention. So you just want to make sure that when you're installing this, I guess this hub actually looks like it's the same distance from here to here. Sometimes the hubs are wider at the top and smaller at the bottom, so you don't get it twisted. But this to me seems like the holes are equal distance. So all you really need to pay attention to then is making sure you're rotating it back in the correct position. So I'm gonna go ahead and install that, and then let's see, I don't know if it's gonna press into place. You might have to use your rubber mallet, but be careful because this is an electrical component and you don't want to damage your new part by banging on it. So it doesn't press in, so we might have to use a little bit of hammer to get it in there. All right, so I did want to show you how I got this new one installed. You know, they're kind of like a press fit type of situation. So instead of using, you know, a metal hammer on this, I tried the rubber mallet. It just wasn't distributing enough force. I actually found a block of wood and I got one side seated, and then I used the block and put my force on here to distribute that energy evenly, and I was able to get it pressed in there. So we're ready to rock and roll and put it back into our knuckle. One important step is use some kind of grease or anti-seize on the hub, so that when it sits back in your knuckle there, it's not gonna seize up in the future, just in case you need to replace it. And I would recommend just cleaning that out as well. A brush or a towel, whatever you have. I don't have anything immediately near me, so I'm gonna go ahead and just clean that out here. Let me see, let me get this rag. There you go, I got it all cleaned up. So what you want to do at this point, start getting everything lined back up so you can put your hub and bearing back in there. So I'm not gonna be able to do this with two hands, but I'll come back once I got it all lined up. All right, so we got it back on there. Don't forget to plug your sensor in. So plug your sensor in, and don't forget your clip. And there you go. All right. One down, one to go. One down, one to go. Don't forget to put your arm back here, and your brake rotor, and your pads, and it should be good to go. Thanks for watching. I'm going to go ahead and end the video here, just because at this point it's just completing a pretty standard brake job. You know, getting your rotor back on there, getting your support screws or set screws lined up. Let's see here. And if you've gotten this far, I am gonna go ahead and assume that you know how to do a brake job. Thank you for watching. You guys have a great day. All right, we cleared all of the lights. It was a TPMS light, it was a ABS and a traction control light. All appear to be related to that ABS wheel speed sensor. So that issue is resolved.